Welcome to issue 208 of Critical Encounters, a podcast about Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Here we take a good look at that most critical piece of the game, the encounter sets. We'll discuss those poorly understood characters, unfairly labeled villains, and their various plans to shape humanity and benefit the planet, as well as those so-called heroes intent on thwarting them. I'm one of your hosts, Natalie, and joining me tonight is Daniel.
Natalie, welcome to the lair.
Thank you. And Christian.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And Angela.
Good to be here.
And lastly, Steve.
Hi, Natalie. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Yeah, we're glad to have you on. So our listeners, there are 3 special voices. I guess all 5 of us are special, but there's 3 non-regular voices. Daniel and I are here, but we are joined by the married and bored couple, Christian and Angela. How you guys doing?
Swell.
We're doing good. And
Yeah,
we'll just
good.
say we promise to be short this time. I feel like every time we're on the show, we stretch the limits of the time limit.
Right now you're
So,
doing
okay.
He's doing it right now. So very All right. Well,
Okay.
folks know you two, and they should be listening to your show, the Married and Bored podcast. Hopefully they are.
Yes.
Mhm.
But
Thank
we
you.
have a 5th voice on here, Natalie. Hello, Natalie. How are you?
Hello. I'm good. I was sick last week, but I'm good now. So yay.
Oh, good timing. So I'm glad you recovered.
Yeah.
People want to know, who is Natalie? What do you do out in the gaming world? Do you do anything out there?
No, I play no games whatsoever. I was just invited here randomly. No. So
Off the
I
street.
play yeah, pretty much. So mostly I play board games solo is how I started out. And that was through nursing school, as something to do. And then I got into the community of board gaming, and that's also how I came into living card games. So other than like proper board games and playing those, I have played all 3 of the living card games that are Arkham, Marvel, and Lord of the Rings, with Marvel being my most played game, actually, of all the games I have.
Oh,
Us
excellent.
too, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, I just started up on Instagram because I didn't want to bug any of my non-board gaming friends with my flood of board gaming stuff while I just pretty much scrapbook when I play. And then just started to go on a bunch of socials and conventions and just randomly made friends with other board game people.
So what's your Insta then? So if folks want to go out and check it out.
So it's Board Gamer Girl, but it's always weird to say. It's gay as in like GAY gamer, not just like plain board gamer, because I've had other people tell me like, we tried to find you on Instagram and we put in Board Gamer Girl and it's some girl from Australia. And I'm like, no, that's not me. So yeah, it's board gay as in gay with a rainbow gamer girl.
Okay. And we'll make sure
Yeah.
we put a link to it down in our show notes as well. Yeah. It's fun, folks, to check it out and follow along. So, and we found you because we listened to the Married and Bored show, and I heard you all 3 of you on talking. I'm like, we need to have this crew come and join us. So here you are.
Yeah, we had a fun time chatting with her about solo games, like she mentioned. So yeah, it's good to be on another show with you one more time.
Yes, I appreciate Christian and Angela being here as well. It's like, yay, reunion time.
Woo.
I feel like we're outnumbered, Steve.
We are a little bit tonight. It's okay.
You're the 4th and 5th wheel.
We're the captain.
Oh, I guess,
now.
Daniel, we can go and they can just finish the show off. So
No, I like new friends. This is fun.
Okay,
Yay. Don't leave me.
So can I go a little bit off topic, Steve, and ask Natalie a question?
go for it. That's what we're
So
here for.
as a solo gamer, Natalie, I have just gotten into Final Girl. Have you played that?
I have played it. Yeah, a long time ago I played it, actually.
What do you think?
For me, it was okay. I did
Alright.
I liked the mechanics of it and like buying the different packs and having it thematically be based off of different horror movies and stuff, but horror and that kind of theme is just not for me. And then I think I only played the first like kind of intro box from Final Girl.
Sure.
And I liked it, but I felt like the dice rolling really controls, like if you fail bad to start, you're just failing like right hard. And I'm like, I'm okay with this, but I feel like I wish there was just a little bit of a tweak somehow. But it had been a long time since I played, and I'd only played that box. So there's so much out there now that I'm sure one of them has to hit. So
it is delightful, and it's sort of relentless fail more mechanic.
Yeah.
Seems appropriate. I was just wondering because I just sort of started getting some of those boxes and looking at it.
Christian and Angela, you guys did a show about that, didn't you? Or you've talked about it at least.
We did. We talked about it with Natalie. And...
oh, yeah. Okay. Jamie, you should go listen to their show all about it.
I fell asleep during that show. So
burn. Nice.
Yeah. That's okay. We welcome you back for more. A second listen. We kind of feel the same. Christian has tough time playing solo games in general. So it is no big surprise that he started it and did not finish one game of Final Girl. And I played quite a few playthroughs, only like 3 different scenario boxes, but like quite a few playthroughs. And it's just punishing. So I think I have to get... We were just talking today because we moved our set of Final Girl from one shelf to another, and we were like, we got to give this another chance.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for your insights. Because I haven't really thrown it out yet. I've just bought the stuff. True to my point.
I haven't thrown it out yet. That's great.
But Natalie, back to you here. So we're a villain show, and we want to know who your favorite Marvel villain is, in the game or otherwise.
Okay, well, in the game or otherwise, I think I like Hela. So otherwise, since Hela is played by Cate Blanchett in the movie, I can't help but put that little note in there. But Hela, who's from Mad Titan's Shadow. So part of the reason I really liked playing Hela was the other LCG that I play is Lord of the Rings, and it's a lot more like quest worthy, and sometimes have to go like pick up like a hostage or whatever. And Hela thematically goes through like a journey with going through the different levels and the side schemes and the minions and having to have the different timing. So I feel like she like really like brings her theme to the whole set that she has. Plus, I like to say when the wolf is out there to be like, and your little dog too, every time it's on the table. I can't help it, especially playing solo. So that's always great for me by myself. But
nice.
Yeah,
Steve,
that's my favorite.
Thank you, Steve, for bringing another voice of reason into the lair.
I agree.
Mike is just wrong. He's just wrong about this. It's probably why he didn't show up tonight.
Yeah.
He's not a big Hela fan then, huh?
Yeah. He figured out how to game the scenario and took it out. Yeah. So
I mean, it's just like the management of like different things and feeling like I'm really going through a story. Like the other thing is, I mean, it doesn't work for me as much solo, but I really liked Kang as well for the theme, where it's like at the one point where you all, like, if you have multiplayer going on, then each of you have to face a different version of Kang. So like ancient Egypt or what, and like future Kang and whatever. Like I really like that, but obviously it doesn't hit as well when you're playing just solo. But one day I'll play that one multiplayer.
Oh, yeah, it's really fun multiplayer.
Yeah.
Well, rub it in, Steve.
Well, come to Con of Heroes, maybe, and we can get a game in. How about that?
Yeah. Yes. I think that was like on my birthday this year too, and I was wanting to go for it, and then I'm like, oh, I can't this year. I had other plans. But yeah, maybe later this year.
All right. We as the villains, we like to see the heroes get, defeated time and time again. So who's the hero you like to see just get trounced?
I mean, there's a whole lot of different ones, but I'm gonna kind of like play in a gray area only because I like how Scarlet Witch kind of like borders like a gray area of, are you an anti-hero kind of person? So it's like, say I've got Scarlet Witch playing against Hela, and it's like, okay, if Hela trounces Scarlet Witch, then I'm like saying, okay, you're a good character for this round or whatever. But then if Scarlet Witch wins, it's like, okay, well, you manipulated and used some of the encounter deck to kick some butt, but kind of took from the dark side kind of thing. So I like the characters that kind of border that good and evil. But when it's Scarlet Witch and then also just Spider-Ham, because Spider-Ham is kind of like hit or miss with a lot of people, and breaking that fourth wall is neat and everything. But I feel like sometimes a little annoying that that it's fun to kick his butt with a villain sometimes.
That's a good fix. I like those.
Yeah.
Daniel? Daniel likes Scarlet Witch, and maybe it's because she's kind of a villain, Daniel.
That's it. No,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, when she's got her Hex Bolt and Molecular Decay and then has to use the encounter deck and it comes back to either haunt her. So it's like, it swings either way. So I felt it was like a really good one where she's kind of like in the middle of can be a villain, could be a good guy.
It's great. Sorry to bring this up, Natalie, but she's fantastic in multiplayer where you really ruin your friends' lives. Yeah.
Because I felt like playing solo, like she can play so well with all the different aspects. I usually like her most with Justice, but some of the heroes are best where it's like, oh, you can build the deck and be pretty okay by yourself, but yeah, one day I'll play all these things with other people. I played one time with somebody else. So I mean, maybe that'll be on my 2024 list to do.
Love it.
Yeah, I've never thought of thinking about characters as like towing the line between good and evil either. So like hearing you say that about Scarlet Witch really is like thematic for who she is. So that's pretty cool.
I'm all about theme.
Love it.
I feel like I'd also want to kick Deadpool's butt, but I haven't played Deadpool yet, so I don't know.
Yeah, deserves it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was great. I'm glad we got a chance to get to know you. And the folks are probably wondering what we're going to do tonight. Right, Daniel, don't you think?
With all these people in the lair.
All these people. Yeah. We don't have people come on just for no reason. I mean, we love getting to know people and chatting, but we have a goal in mind. There is a scheme here that we're trying to complete. And tonight we're going to look at the Acolyte set. Last week we talked about Exodus, who is an Acolyte. And this week we are each going to talk about one of the 5 different Acolyte minions. So that's what we have 5 people on. So
nice. Now, Steve, this might astonish you. I've never heard of these guys.
I am not surprised.
Until you sent me to research. Oh, this unfortunate person you sent me to research.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. They are sort of like 90s villains, I believe. I think they all kind of probably come out around the same time. But we're gonna do lore. We're gonna look at a card, and then we'll talk about the rest of the modular set afterwards. So, shall we get to it then? We got a bunch to go through here. So
Yep.
Who's going first? Oh, it's me. Yes. Yes, because I have Fabian Cortez, who we will discover is like the leader of the Acolytes, right? Anyhow, so Fabian Cortez, a mutant, a spoiled little rich kid, a banjo player, a Dazzler fanboy, and a Magneto fetisher. He has a fetish for Magneto's helmet. He first appears. I'm not going to say anymore.
Oh gosh.
He first appears in X-Men Volume 2, Number 1 in August of 1991. He is born into wealth and privilege, and he gets really bored with it. So he decides to join what's called the Upstarts for a little bit of excitement. Now, the Upstarts are a bunch of mutants organized by the Games Master, who gives out points if you kill other mutants. So Fabian wants points, and he apparently is pretty good at this game because he kills a lot of mutants throughout his career. What he does is he goes out and he gathers up a bunch of other mutants and he names them the Acolytes. That's you guys. And he uses them to infiltrate Asteroid M, where Magneto lives, and he arranges for the destruction of it and the death of Magneto. That's a lot of points that he gets. Ching, ton of points. Okay. So he kills off. What happens is the asteroid is destroyed with all the other acolytes on board. He's the only one who escapes. So he then goes out and he gathers up more acolytes. For round 2, he just pretends he didn't do that. Someone eventually overhears him and they snitch on him and they're like, hey, this guy killed Magneto and all the other acolytes, which is not fair to, spy on him. And all the new acolytes just abandon him. We know villains don't stay dead, so Magneto comes back to life, and Fabian loses all of his points, which is also not fair. Poor spoiled little rich kid. Okay, so don't worry. He has a foolproof plan now. He's going to kidnap Magneto's daughter and start a civil war on Genosha, and then Exodus, who we talked about last week, kills Fabian. So Fabian dies the first time. Number 1. Okay, let's keep score, all right? Let's see how many times he dies. Right, so he comes back to life, because that's what they do. And he's causing trouble with Magneto's clone. Some stuff goes down, and Magneto throws him 50 miles. He picks him up, and he chucks him 50 miles. Splat! He dies, so he's dead a second time. But fear not, he is back for a third run here with there's something called the Necrotia, and it brings all these people back, but he comes back as an unkillable zombie that Deadpool somehow kills, so he dies a third time. Number 3. Okay, so he's been dead 3 times now. He decides he's going to go back with the upstarts, and him and his buddies in the upstarts kill the nasty boys, who we do have a modular set for. So he kills all of them, but eventually, after some stuff, there's a Sentinel-1 out there, and that vaporizes Fabian, so he's dead 4 times. We're on 4th death. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Then, just for some reason, we don't know why, he's just back. He's with Exodus. He's with the Acolytes again during the whole House of X storyline. I just don't explain it. He works for the Six and Sword, and they're fighting the symbiotes, and he gets killed by Null, who is the king of the symbiotes, which we talked about a way long time ago. So yeah, he's dead 5 times now. Okay, but fear not. 5 times. He's like a cat here. He's still got 4 to go, I think. Jean Grey brings him back to life, but she brings him back, and he's nude, and he's confused, and he doesn't know what's going on when she first brings him back, which is kind of a funny thing because to see him kind of suffer that way.
It's how we all enter the world.
Yeah, it's true. It's like he's born again. Yeah. All right. Yeah. He meets up with the Quiet Council, which is like a governing body of mutants, right? But he is betrayed by Amelia Vaught. Not fair. Whoever's doing Amelia. Yeah,
no.
Okay. So now he's depressed. He's humiliated. He takes to drinking. His favorite place to drink. Daniel, can you guess where he likes to go drinking?
I'm going to make this guess only because it sort of appears in my story. Does he go to drink at the Hellfire Club?
No. He goes to drink at the Green Lagoon, which is Blob's Tiki Bar.
Blob's Bar.
Yes, he goes hang out.
Oh, man. How did I not guess that?
I know. All right. So while he's there, he has a moment of self-realization along with Nightcrawler helps him out. And it turns out that Fabian, he just wants to be liked and respected, and which all of that self-doubt has caused his terrible bad behavior and the murdering of all these other mutants, right? That's all it is. But he realizes that others can never like him if he doesn't like himself. So he learns to love himself. So it's a happy ending. It's not. Hold on.
Good, because I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Okay, good. There's this thing, Onslaught, puts him in a coma, and there he is. So he remains in a coma. But currently, that's where Fabian is.
Wow. He's just misunderstood.
He is.
Yeah.
Like most villains.
You might ask, what are his powers?
Yeah, what are they? What are his powers?
Steve, what are his powers?
Thank you, Angela. Okay. His powers are to augment other people's powers, often to insane levels. So he interacts with Psylocke, and he just gives her crazy psychic abilities. She can hear every mutant on the planet, or her blades are so powerful she can stab Magneto, which normally she wouldn't be able to because he's too strong, that sort of thing. He can use that power to overload the mutants, which can cause an addiction in them, so they keep coming back to him for him to do it again and again and again. He can also heal mutants, or he can harm mutants by messing up their genetic code, which is what he does to Magneto. Magneto, he keeps telling Magneto he's healing him, but really he's draining his power. So then Magneto has to keep coming back to feel like he's getting healed. It's this like little cycle. So, and then he can kind of use his powers to constrict, use them sort of like as an energy field to constrict people in him. That's about it. So his main thing is to mess with other people's powers.
Now, can he only augment those powers, Steve? Or can he take them away?
He can use his ability to harm mutants, which doesn't necessarily remove their power, but eventually, if he does it, like they'll feel like they're being healed by him, but really he's draining them. So they have to like keep coming back to him in order to quote unquote get healed, but he just keeps draining them little by little by little until he's eventually killed them. So
a true leader.
He seems really like good. Like why isn't he a bigger character?
Yeah.
Like he can do like it's a cool power. Like I can make people like I don't know.
Yeah.
He manipulated Magneto, so he's got to be smart.
Yeah, he's pretty smart too. So and they always tell you too, like he's a tactical genius and all these sort of things. But I didn't care about any of that because that's not fun.
Because everyone
he's good at that sort of stuff. So
Christian's right though. He's kind of a weenie in the game.
Well, should we look at his card then?
Sure.
All right. Fabian Cortez is a unique minion with a 1 scheme, 1 attack, 4 health, the Acolyte and Elite trait. He has the teamwork keyword, Acolyte, which we will have to talk about at the end. Villainous. When defeated, the player who defeated Fabian Cortez discards cards from the encounter deck until an Acolyte minion is discarded and puts that minion into play, engage with them. 3 boost icons.
He's directing the show.
Yeah, he's directing the show. And he's got Villainous, which is like the only one in the group with Villainous. That shows, I think, usually more of the leadership skills in the game. Yep. And it's kind of neat if you do defeat him, the Acolytes rally to him because he's been lying. He lies to them a lot, right? They don't realize he's doing these sort of things, and they do follow him pretty well, usually up to a point.
I was going to say the 4 health doesn't seem too intimidating for what you said he can do. It doesn't seem like a lot, but 3 boosts is pretty deadly if you get that in an encounter or something.
Yeah, 3 boosts is nice. I think the 4 health is, he does die a lot, so it kind of makes sense.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah. Now, when he is defeated, he doesn't come back, but you defeat him and he brings back somebody else, so that's kind of neat.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, well, let's circle around to teamwork after. Who's next? I want to hear about the next one, and that's gonna be Angela. Oh, she has the most interesting named one.
Yeah.
Good.
Good luck, Angela.
I'm gonna just go bold and confident here. This is Uniscion.
Ooh.
And Carmela is her human name, I guess. But she's a mutant. She is a former member of the Acolytes. And it's a little bit confused on comic lore, but she's either the daughter or the younger sister of Eunice the Untouchable, who is another mutant.
Okay.
She first appears in 93, so she is a 90s mutant, like you said. So she believes she's one of the chosen ones to carry on Magneto's legacy, and Magneto is presumed, like you said, dead after Asteroid M was defeated. So she's in the second round of Acolytes because all the other ones were killed by, you know who, Fabian. And she stays loyal to Magneto she goes to Avalon, and then she goes to the deserts of Earth where Cyclops is like her only, well, maybe there's 3 of them. So I think there's like a select group of people that just got teleported to Earth after the fall of Avalon. Cyclops is with her. Then she goes to Genosha, but she's loyal to Magneto through all of this, even when Fabian kind of attempts I don't know if it's a coup or something, like to put Magneto in his place, and she stays loyal to Magneto. She later joins other mutants under the lead of Mr. Sinister, so that is also in the campaign. And so you might ask, what are her powers?
Angela, what are her powers? See, that's how you do it, guys.
Yeah, let me tell you. She can take psionic energy and make it solid. So she generates like a solid psionic energy field that protects from physical harm, but also like energy harm. She calls it her exoskeleton. You can see it on the card. It's like a field. She can reshape it, and usually it's in the shape of a large hand. So it kind of reminds me of Miss Marvel, to be honest. But yeah, so she can like pick up things with that huge hand if she reshapes her solid psionic energy into that.
It's just a big D&D mage hand.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh yeah, okay.
But all of this like power is an extension of her mind. So the one maybe weakness is that if you destroy her field, that renders her unconscious. So if you destroy her psionic feedback, solid psionic feedback, she's gonna be unconscious. And there she is. There she be.
Now you said she's like let's say daughter or something of Unis, which
Yes.
we are getting as a villain in the Age of Apocalypse.
Ooh.
Are we really?
There you go.
Yeah.
I have to admit, I have no idea who that is.
Well, it was very like comic geniuses out there were very confused if she was the daughter or the younger sister. So there's an age gap, but we don't know the relation.
Somehow related.
Sure.
Okay.
Wow. I thought she was Italian and it was a Nuscione, but guess
Hey,
not.
there you go.
That's a great dish.
Yeah.
That's good.
Order.
We were discussing
Yeah.
the pronunciation off air. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my guess. And then when you said her name was like Carmela, I'm like, yeah, it could work.
Yeah, that
It
makes sense.
could. Yeah, totally. I you know what? I feel bad that I dropped off her Italian heritage. Let me just
Well, because this is like an international crew, right?
yeah. Maybe yeah. Unasconi. That's her name.
Love it. Well, Angela, tell us about her in the game.
Okay, so she is a minion, a unique minion. She is a 2 scheme and a 2 attack. She's an acolyte with 4 health, and she also has the teamwork acolyte trait and toughness. And when defeated, give the villain a tough status card. If the villain already has a tough status card, heal 4 damage from it, and then 2 boost. So I think this works perfectly with her shield. She is providing a shield for the villain.
Yeah, it would be disappointed if she didn't have tough based on her powers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's neat that the when defeated couldn't heal the villain as well, so that if he's already tough, it doesn't whiff. So that's nice.
Yeah, and I feel like that's her saying like, "Here, I'll protect you," and then the villain's like, "No, I got it." And then she's like, "All right, well then I'm giving you like a break so you can heal."
Yeah.
I mean, that hairstyle kind of gives the 90s away as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. She's rocking it though.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe she's also from Jersey.
You know what? The more I think about it, the more I really messed up the name. It has got to be Gotta be.
Yeah. No, all these art they have credited art, so they were made for the game, which accounts, I think, for their matching uniforms. So.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what the big V is, because
No.
shouldn't it be a big A maybe? Or...
Yeah.
It's an upside down A.
There you go.
Is that like the middle part of an M for Magneto?
Ooh.
There it is.
It would be
They
for
like
her.
all
She's
line
very
up.
loyal.
And it's a very long M.
Oh, I bet that's it. Oh, golly. Well, Steve, who's next?
Who is next? It's going to be Christian. Christian, you're up.
Yeah, so I am talking about Delgado, and that is not Spanish. That is his name. His name is Marco Delgado. My favorite thing about him that I have figured out is in all my research, it says Delgado was a member of the Acolytes. He died. Like in multiple different places. That was like the first 2 sentences. And so we know a lot
let's read his
about
card.
Yeah, we know a lot about
He's a big part of the team.
Yeah, he contributed a lot.
He doesn't resurrect.
Yeah.
So he's part of the original crew. He was debuted in that, the famous 1991 X-Men run along with Fabian Cortez. And Delgado's power is he gets really strong and he can like grow and increase his size. It also says he can increase his size to an unknown limit. So he could just keep going.
Wow.
He doesn't even know how large.
I'm like, is that how he died? He tried to push the limit?
Yeah, he just exploded like a big zit.
Oh,
Yeah.
boom.
Oh, man.
So it's a cool power, which I think is really great. And so he was along with the crew that we've mentioned before, with the Acolytes, Asteroid M. He did not make it off the asteroid, however. He was one of those that died.
And whose fault is that?
Fabian. One of my favorite pieces of information that I did find out about Delgado is that in the comic itself, Wolverine and Beast were fighting this guy, and they themselves had a conversation saying, like, who is this guy? We don't know who he is. I think he was a guy from S.H.I.E.L.D. And no, he wasn't. And then they just said, well, we can figure out his backstory after we take him down. And those are like literal quotes from Wolverine.
Nice.
That's hilarious.
It was very nebulous in what he can do. I thought he worked really well with Fabian. If Fabian's is to boost powers, like Delgado's power, he would be a good one to amplify and just to get stronger and stronger. So, unfortunately, there's not a ton of information about him, but we do know that he's dead. So I think that's where the story ends.
Yeah.
For a lot of people.
Yeah.
He's just dead.
Let's jump into his card too. So like the other Acolytes so far, Delgado is a unique minion. His schemes for 1 and he attacks for 2. He's a little beefy boy. He does have 6 health, which makes sense with the ability to grow. He has one of my least favorite keywords in the game, retaliate 1. So whenever he does get punched,
you mean your favorite?
Remember where you are.
It is so good that Delgado can retaliate because those heroes deserve it.
That's right. Well said, sir.
Beast, Wolverine, you don't know who I am. I'll slap you when you hit me.
There you go.
1 point gone. He also has the Acolyte teamwork keyword as well. He does have a when defeated trigger and discard each stunned and confused status card from the villain and give it a face down boost card. And then he does have 2 boost cards himself. I don't know how this one fits into his theme. I'm having a hard time connecting the dots. So if you guys have any way to do that, but it's just like he's dead and let's just make the villain /harder /stronger.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like his attack should be bigger if he can grow, right? But I guess maybe that's the retaliate. But then that when defeated is, I don't know, maybe the villain is like, no, you killed Delgado, and he like shakes himself out of his fugue. And
Not Delgado.
Not Delgado. I don't know anything about him. I was just
I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
I don't even know his backstory yet.
Yeah.
I mean, the theme in the Acolytes does seem to be very defensive, and so like it makes sense to have like maybe not super strong attacks, and they just take a lot of damage and distract the hero from attacking the main villain. So I think he's really good at doing that.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. And it does, 6 health. He's got a little bit more than everybody. That makes sense. So.
Yep. And if I'm playing, he's gonna have an attachment because that always happens. So he's just gonna get boosted in some other way.
Yep.
All right. Well, Natalie, you're up. You have Amelia. Let's do it.
Yes. So I have Amelia Vought is how I guess I'm gonna say that. So she first appeared in Uncanny X-Men issue 300 in 1993. So early life, she has citizenship in America and Krakoa. She actually left home because her family hated her mutant gifts. So she became a registered nurse and traveled to India, where she actually met Professor X. So she and Professor X hung out. No. So she took care of Professor X during her time there and during when he lost the ability for his legs. So the two fell in love and shared an apartment in Bombay.
Wait, what?
So
Really?
yeah. So it's like,
Okay.
oh, little love story, and then the good part when she will eventually get evil, but we'll get there.
Okay.
So Amelia and Professor X actually didn't know that they were both mutants at the time when they started to get together. And Professor X became obsessed trying to make a machine that tracked mutants, aka Cerebro. His hope was to have it to protect and educate them so they wouldn't turn into threats to themselves or others. But when Amelia found the plans, she thought he was planning to exterminate mutants, and so she revealed herself as a mutant and went to attack him, only to be stopped when Professor X revealed himself as a mutant as well. So when they both revealed themselves, it actually strengthened their relationship for a time. And they also just had different ideals over time when it concerned mutants and human coexistence. So, as we know, Professor X wanted to open coexistence between humans and mutants, and Amelia thought it was best to just hide. So once Professor X brought on Cyclops, so Scott Summers, she left. No, for for training, she left Xavier. So citing this was that it would only lead to dooming mutant kind to start training mutants like Cyclops. So in a panic, Xavier tried to compel her with his mutant abilities, but he quickly stopped. However, it was too late. Amelia was hurt and angry and ultimately left, and after a few years of hiding, found and joined Magneto, who she had actually met through Xavier years ago. So now the good stuff. So this led Amelia to join the Acolytes, which started as a small group, originally led by Fabian Cortez. So Amelia being one of the more experienced mutants in the group when it started, she had some seniority in the group when they actually stole the space shuttle to join Magneto on his orbital base, Asteroid M. Amelia didn't agree with some of the group's more extreme policies, like the killing of humans, boo, but pledged to follow Magneto's principles, particularly the mutant right to superiority over normal humans, at least. So some worshipped Magneto and regarded him as the mutant messiah. So when Magneto learned of their intentions, this is how Magneto allowed them to stay, and that's how this group became his acolytes. So, in fact, as mentioned earlier, she also assisted in defeating Fabian Cortez when he attempted to use an amnesiac Magneto to gain control of the acolytes. So, yeah, she pew-pewed Fabian for a little bit.
I mean,
And then
you kill off all your friends and everybody hates you. Jeepers.
I mean,
yeah, she's kind of not the most fun of the evil group. But what are her powers? So Amelia's mutant abilities include her being able to turn herself and matter within her eyesight into a mist-like state. And then she can move that mist through the astral plane, which allows her to teleport. So basically, she can teleport and change into like mist-likeness. So I think it goes a little bit more with her card for Marvel Champions.
Agreed. Tell us about that.
So, she is a unique minion and has 2 scheme and 1 attack. Her health is at 5, and she uses the keywords stalwart and teamwork. When defeated, the player who defeated Amelia Vogt is confused. If they are already confused, then place 2 threat on the main scheme. And she also has 2 boost icons. So yeah, I think like her being like she mystifies the heroes and confuses
Whoa.
them.
Love it.
Wow.
That was good.
That was good. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Couldn't help it. It was there. Had to grab it.
So,
We need-
Steve,
we need-
while you
we need-
defeat her, you're confused.
No, that is not what it says.
Sorry.
We have a long-standing debate on this. No, she's very interesting. I like the stalwart with the mist
I
because
do
like
too.
you
Yeah.
can't really stun her because she can just kind of go astral. That's kind of neat.
Yeah.
And then and then you go to punch her, and you're like, "Whoa, wait a minute, where'd you go?" You get confused. So.
Yeah, she was neat. Her story's got like a whole backstory for this
Yeah,
group.
she was a lover.
Mhm.
I didn't realize.
Yeah, at first I thought you were telling us West Side Story.
Yeah, it was like, wait
Yeah.
a second. I swear I'm gonna get to the evil part, guys.
They don't
Awesome.
just always start as bad guys like every time, right? I mean, they have lives before that sometimes.
Well,
Yeah.
some of us do, Steve.
Sometimes,
Mm.
yeah. Yeah, she seems cool. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
All right, one more, Daniel. One
Yeah,
more.
here we go. So you know how the Marvel universe is peopled by interesting and exotic characters?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Senyaka is not one of them.
Oh.
So I don't know. So while Amelia Vogt was spending, Uncanny X-Men issue number 300 in love with Professor X and like helping him out, Senyaka was leading an attack on a hospice and killing all the patients and doctors and nurses there. So
Low-hanging
Oh,
fruit.
you got the bad guy.
Yeah.
Bad guy.
So
Okay.
the one character trait that is often associated with the beloved Senyaka is he's a little bit bloodthirsty. But like you, Steve, like Fabian Cortez, he has also died multiple times.
Oh,
And
okay.
like you, Christian, as Delgado, Senyaka is actually dead. Finally.
Yes.
He has ended his days beheaded by Wolverine and X-23.
There we
So
go.
Ooh.
that's his end. But how did he get to that end? Well, not interestingly, I'm afraid. He is a perennial like toady, and if someone is not leading him, he does not know what to do. So he follows Fabian around. Fabian goes away. He declares Magneto as a false god. He's just always looking for a leader. And when he doesn't have one, he's like somewhat kind of paralyzed. And so he dies over and over, comes back to life because of his power. Now you might ask, what is his power?
What is it?
It is
Well, that's a great
power.
question. Thank you.
Yeah.
What Senyaka can do is drain the life force from other people. Okay.
Mm.
So
How
if
very
you touch
roguish
him
of him.
or he touches you, he drains that life force. And now what's interesting is like that life force turns out like it becomes like a bioelectric kind of, it becomes physical and it takes the form of whips. So you often see him pictured with these like two whips in his hands. Well, these whips are actually psionic bioelectric energy that he has channeled out of other people.
Holy cow.
So
That's
that's
neat.
how he keeps being alive. Because if you don't remove his head, and like someone touches him, so like his first time he died, some shield doctor touched him and he drained the life force from him. And so that kind of thing happened. But he's bloodthirsty, he's a mercenary, he has no real fixed belief system or anything too compelling about him. Though, his low health on his card speaks to the multiple deaths like we talked about with Fabian, right? Like it's so easy to kill him. Now there are a couple interesting things about him. One is he's Sri Lankan. I don't know many other characters in the Marvel universe that are from Sri Lanka. And Steve, get this. He's 5'10", 173 pounds. So he is the only character that we've ever talked to that I could play in the movies. And so if Disney is listening, I'm available.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if he's appeared in the films yet, but
You or Jake Johnson could play him, right?
I guess. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So that's Senyaka. He's a killer. He's a remorseless, vicious killer. So let's see how that translates to his card. Senyaka is a unique minion, 1 scheme, 3 attack, and he's got a little asterisk next to his attack. He's got 3 health, Acolyte trait, teamwork, Acolyte, which is a keyword. His attacks gain piercing, those whips. Now, when defeated, the player who defeated Senyaka is stunned. If they're already stunned, they take 3 damage, and he has 3 boost icons.
Okay. 3 boost icons. So a couple
Yeah.
of these guys with that. Yeah.
So that's good. And getting stunned when you beat him up, that's good.
Yeah. I mean, with a 3 attack with piercing, you're going to have to take him down, I
Yeah.
feel like. And then when you do it, you got to time it right? You're going to get stunned
Yeah,
and take
he's
damage. Yeah.
I mean, it
Yeah.
makes sense that he's
Good.
sort of the scariest of this group because, like,
grabbing life force.
He himself was awful, and he drained life force. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but did
Yeah,
you
like-
know that his hair and eyes are unknown?
Does he
Oh
always wear that head?
no.
He's always
Tire?
got that little, that
Okay.
headscarf, that head wrap.
Interesting.
So he could be anyone. He could be next to you right now.
He could be you, and we wouldn't know it.
That's exactly.
Delgado.
He could be Delgado.
You're just telling
Um,
your backstory.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's seems to be an unpleasant fellow. But he is in the universe, no longer with us.
Okay.
So
A lot of dead people.
yeah, the Acolytes didn't seem to fare very well
Yeah.
in the comics.
No, and there's more of them. So this is like round one.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
could maybe get more in the future.
Okay. But Steve, there's other cards in this little set than beyond just the 5 of us.
Yeah, there's two. There's a treachery here. Natalie, why don't you tell us about the treachery?
Well, why not? Okay, so the treachery card for the Acolytes is Zeal for the Cause. It says when revealed, resolve the when defeated ability of each Acolyte minion engaged with you. If you are not engaged with an Acolyte minion, discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded, then reveal it. And then it's got 1 boost icon. That's a lot.
I am so disappointed by this card, guys.
Uh-oh. Why?
I want it to be when revealed, resolve the when defeated ability of each Acolyte in play.
Oh,
Mm.
In
yeah,
play
that
would be
makes a
pretty-
difference.
Pretty legit.
That would be
crazy.
really nice and bonkers, especially since it only has 1 boost.
Yeah, that
I
does
don't
make
feel
a
like
difference.
we're unified enough to have that. Like it doesn't feel like there's a lot of infighting.
Okay.
Amelia's out here trying to take us down.
Yeah, it's Amelia's fault that it's
Yeah.
that. So, who's that on the art?
Is that Exodus? No, he doesn't have that crazy thing behind him. I don't know.
And what's the cause?
Oh, the
Some
Acolyte
code.
cards support Magneto in all ways. right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
my guy doesn't support Magneto. He hates him. Magneto's the first person to kill him.
I don't know.
I don't know. What's the-
Humankind.
Yeah.
You just whip those things around.
Don't
Yeah.
ask questions. It's not my job.
Don't ask questions.
Just don't
Yeah,
play
just
jump
fight.
rope with life force.
Somebody better will
Got
point
it.
you in a direction, and off you go.
Yeah. All right. Please.
Mechanically, this is a very weird card because, okay, resolve the when defeated ability and each Acolyte minion engaged with you. So if you were engaged with Amelia Vaught, it says the player who defeated Amelia Vaught is confused.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's considered that you have defeated her, right? And Senyaka too. The player who defeated Senyaka is stunned. So you have
Yeah,
to
a
sort
lot of these are. And then
Right.
Fabian Cortez, same thing, the player who defeated.
I
Yeah.
think you have to assume that it just means you do the
you.
Yeah, I guess.
It's you doing it. Yeah.
as if you had defeated them.
Yeah.
Now that the we haven't talked about it yet. Maybe we should here. The teamwork keyword, because if Fabian
yeah.
Cortez is engaged with you and you get Zeal for the Cause, you're gonna go and get another Acolyte minion and put it into play engaged with you. Now you have 2 Acolytes and the teamwork trait will trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So should we talk about teamwork here? Because
Why don't we?
Okay. Teamwork is a trait, and it says after a minion with teamwork enters play and engages a player, if there is at least one other minion that shares the specified trait in play, each minion that shares the teamwork keyword with the same specified trait activates against the player it is engaged with. So if you have Fabian Cortez out and Senyaka hits the table, also
Mhm.
they both activate, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that true, Steve? If I draw Senyaka as my encounter turn?
Yeah, if I have Fabian Cortez out and you draw Senyaka, it says a minion with the teamwork, right? They both have teamwork Acolyte, so it doesn't, if it said teamwork Masters of Evil, they wouldn't work together.
For sure. Sure.
Right?
Mm.
If there's one other minion that has the specified trait, each minion that shares the teamwork trait with the same specified trait activates whoever it's engaged with. So
Wow.
a 4-player game, I draw Fabian Cortez, nothing happens. Natalie draws Amelia. Amelia and Cortez both activate. And Christian draws Delgado, Amelia, and Fabian all activate.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
our 4th player draws Senyaka. All 4 of them activate. So it like triggers it, and not just an attack, a scheme as well.
Sure.
So,
Right.
Whatever you're at. Okay.
Yeah. So you don't really, I mean, the heroes don't really want to leave them out on the table for very long because they could trigger multiple times, like out of turn, which is, I think, maybe why they have lower health and lower stats. Maybe the designers were thinking, oh, well, these guys could go off a few times, so let's not make them all 3 attack, that kind of thing.
Well, except for all their are strong too, right? So
Yeah.
Yep.
Trying to figure out how to manage them would be a lot. Because it's like, on their own, they can be handled, right? But once you get 2 or 3 of them put on the table at the same time, there's a problem.
Right.
So, and again, you're playing a 3-player game. 1 acolyte is in play, but not engaged with you, and you draw zeal for the cause. It then says, right, and you, when defeated, okay, I don't have an acolyte out. I'm going to discard cards until I get one. I'm going to put the acolyte out. All the acolytes activate. So that can trigger in a multiplayer game. It can make them all trigger again. So just if the person who draws zeal for the cause doesn't have it, right?
Yeah.
It does say you have to discard cards from the encounter deck until a minion is discarded.
You could luck out.
Oh,
you could luck out. You could luck out.
Right.
Oh, I should say.
But,
I
didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I didn't notice that either.
So only play with acolyte minions. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, Fabian's just pulling minions from wherever. He's pulling mutants.
I love it.
They don't need to be acolytes. Yeah.
So, Steve, then the most fun thing to do to it is like, all right, so you 4 are playing a game with the acolytes, right? Angela, Christian, and Natalie each have an acolyte in front of them. You draw this card in your encounter.
Right.
You are not engaged with one, so you have to go get one.
Right, that's what I was saying. Yeah. And when that comes out,
and then they all 4 hit your friends.
Activate.
Oh,
yeah, all 4. The one you just drew activates because there are other ones in play, and all the other ones that are in play activate as well. Yeah. After, yeah.
So teamwork is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Makes the dream work, they say.
Yeah, it does.
Really does in this case.
Finally, some really cool minion interaction. And I think that, this is the first time we're talking about teamwork on the show, but I think they could do this often for other, right? You could have the Sinister Six with teamwork and all these other things where they're smaller minions, but they have these neat abilities that could trigger more than once. They could go off multiple times and around.
Wow.
Yeah. Hopefully we see more teamwork from the villain side of things. It's tough. I know it's tough for us to work together, but. All right, there's still one more card, and we were going to let our acolyte couple here go for it. So why don't the 2 of you fight over who gets to read the side scheme?
Sure, we'll do every other word. It is.
Oh no.
Acolyte.
I love it. Yeah.
Guide
Scheme.
Each
Acolyte.
minion
Gains.
guard. Icon.
What's this icon? I don't know what it's called, but
Hazard.
it means that you draw. There we go. You draw an extra encounter card.
And then there's a boost.
Shuffle.
Each
Acolyte.
minion
From
the
discard
pile
into
the
encounter
deck.
And it's 3 per person to start. Threat to start.
Wow.
This is a beefy side scheme.
Sure is. Here they are resurrecting again. Acolytes return.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, and then they get the guard, so they're guarding the villain once again. They're just making it harder and harder for you to attack. That's kind of what
the guard forces you to defeat them to trigger their when defeated, right?
Right.
Yeah, so just
yeah.
brutal as a hero.
And then the hazard, so you might, even in a solo game, you could draw 2 acolytes in one turn, so their teamwork would trigger.
Yeah. Or zeal for the cause.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Coming at you.
This is
It's
a
a pretty
lot.
good side scheme. So.
Yeah.
I do like the art on this card, though. I think it kind of, to be able to see them all together, like fighting, you get my boy Delgado's like giant, and then Mr. Jump Ropes is in there, and
he's up front. Yeah. He's like blood.
Mr. Jump Ropes. Oh boy.
I guess I'm all this mist.
Yeah, where are you?
To the traitor Amelia Vaught.
Just in the background is that dust.
She's teleporting
cloud.
somewhere. Yeah.
She's off making out with Professor X.
Later.
And you guys notice that Fabian is making the loser sign with his hand?
He sure is.
You're going down.
That's fantastic.
Over there. Look over there. What's that behind you? That's what he's doing. What's that behind you? He's pointing. Yeah.
Funny.
Awesome.
All right. So normally what we do with these sets is we give them a school rating, A through F with the villain in mind, right? So an A is really good for the villains or bad for the heroes. Daniel, why don't you start it off?
Sure. So this is an interesting set because if you this set proves that you just can't look at individual cards vacuum. These 7 cards together are bonkers powerful. This has got to be an A for me. First off, I love a whole bunch of minion heavy sets. And then, that side scheme, this is really good. This could really wreck a day. So I'm giving it an A for sure.
All right. Natalie, what do you think?
Yeah, similar. Like if somehow you shuffle up the encounter deck and somehow you get lucky where you kind of just have one minion coming out at a time, and then depending on player count, like I said, I mostly play solo, so it's like you can maybe the hero can maybe kind of mitigate things a little bit more, but in multiplayer this is like deadly. So for me, I'll probably give it a B only because of that. But otherwise it's like, it can ramp up pretty hard and then get out of control.
Yeah, solo I can see that. If the cards don't show up, they don't get to do their thing.
Yeah.
And they combo, and it's a little harder to combo in solo.
Yeah.
Christian, Angela? Let's go with Angela first.
1, 2, 3, Christian, you want to give your rating?
No, you go.
Okay. I'm gonna say A as well. I think that this would be tough for even Thor with his minion powers to defeat. So I think I'm gonna give it an A.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with that. I like this one a lot more than I did. Now that I know more about each of these pretty what's the word I'm looking for? People we don't know. Like I didn't know any of these people before we started.
Sure.
And now knowing a little bit more about them, in seeing how their cards work individually, how they work as a group, I think it's really cool. So A.
All right. And I never commit to anything or put anything in writing, so I'm not going to give it a grade. Can't prove it that way. Yeah, 200 some shows. But I think you're all right on, pretty close. So
now, Steve, how many times have you played against these cats?
I make it a point to play against them when we're going to talk about them. So quite a few times, and I have had the teamwork keyword get me right. It's like if I can just make it through this round without another one of these guys showing up.
Yeah.
I like to shuffle them in with the Exodus, who we talked about last week, who's also an Acolyte, but sadly does not have teamwork. But he does have a card in there that forces them all to activate against you. So that's pretty good. So you have a few out. Yeah, it goes again. So it could be fun. I wouldn't say I've played against them as many times as older sets because they're still kind of new for us, even though it's the last box. Yeah.
No, I think this is a group you throw into things where if you just find Rhino a little too easy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. This is a great, second mod set to put in for sure. Or your +1 that you bring to your party. Indeed.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice.
+5.
Yeah, +5.
Great. Well, Steve, this was great.
Yeah, Natalie.
What lovely people in the lair tonight.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say, Natalie, thanks for coming on. It was great to have you on. Tell the people again where they can find your gaming stuff.
So I'm on Facebook, Instagram as Board Gamer Girl, Gaymer in the middle of that. And then sometimes I'm on podcasts like these, or I'm on Codenames Live sometimes on Twitch. It's just a game show where we play Codenames with different comedians or actors or board gamers and stuff like that.
Awesome. Cool.
Yep. So those are pretty much my places right now, I think.
All right. We'll make sure we link a bunch of that in the show notes and out on our socials. So, and then Christian and Angela, the Married and Board, where can they find you guys again?
Sure. We have a podcast called Married and Board. You can find that wherever you get podcasts. And we are on Instagram, and Threads, the new hotness, just at Married and Bored. And if you,
fancy.
yeah, if you do the email thing, you can just do hello@marriedandbored.com.
Yes. And Natalie, I have to say, did you notice Amelia is a nurse?
Yes. I was like, oh, this was the character for me.
Yeah.
Since I used to be a registered nurse, so actually right now I work for Open Owl Studios. So
hey,
I thought you were gonna say now I'm just gonna betray Steve.
Show's over.
Oh, I should have.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you all so much for coming on. You know where to find them. You know where to find us. You can email us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. We are Critical Encounters on Facebook. You can find our YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Vardane, Big Phone Love, Crispins, Natalie, and Wandering Tooth. If you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, tell your enemies. Amelia, take us out.
Well, I got news for you, Charlie. You failed. Your X-Men's fight for mutant rights has made it impossible for mutants to live quietly anywhere on Earth. Magneto may have built Asteroid M, but you made it necessary. Is that the best you can do?
yeah.
That was so sad.
Sounded just like her.
I don't know that you chuckled humorlessly, though.
No, like
That was
I don't
more
know how to do
humorly.
that.
That was more humorly.
Yeah. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Okay, one more time.
Yeah.
Is that the best you can do? Ha 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 ha.